Hello, 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 Courtney Rhodes. So nice to have you with us today. How are you doing?
Amazing. So nice to be with you all today.
Oh, we are so excited to have you. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. And I think that you are just the best person to dive into some topics that I don't think people really pay attention to. So let's just do a bit of an introduction because so many people have had the pleasure of knowing you on Bravo's live stream, our mainstream TV with Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I think you've really shown some great personality. You've really shown, that beauty and brains mixed together. But I really feel like so many times things are edited, we don't really get into a deep dive of the background of who we are. So we're going to hit into that. I am a career coach, a human resources professional for a global tech company. And so we're going to definitely hit into some areas that help my community with professional and personal branding. And so I am just so excited to have you here. And before we even dive in anything, let's be real. We call this thing happy hour. I mean, we got the sign going on that says happy hour. So what do we look like having a moment together and not making this a happy hour? So I want you to know that I'm super excited to have my nice little bit of dry red blend.
Okay.
Tell me what you're drinking tonight.
I'm doing a cab.
Oh, fancy, aren't we?
A little.
So we're going to sip on this thing as we go through. I'm so happy that this is live because this gives us an opportunity to get questions from our community and so that they can kind of dive into whatever information they want to know. But we're going to hit on a few things, child. I hope
Okay, I'm ready. Let's
you
go.
ready? I know you're
Yes.
ready. I hope the people are ready. I know you're ready.
Okay. I hope the peoples are ready.
So I want to take a second just to introduce the Courtney that I've grown to know for so long. And I think what admires me most about you is not only have you always been a beautiful person, always had a great, great personality, but you've always been very, very smart, very, very strategic, very, very welcoming to everyone. And over the years, I'm so excited to see your growth. And I remember when I first saw your book and I just got so amazed by it. And I also actually was a bit intrigued by it because you did a presentation one time and you told us all about branding and you told us all about the different things that we can do to kind of help ourselves stand out and to just make a difference for ourselves so that we're happy for ourselves. And shortly after your book was introduced, and I was like, I got to get it. I got to get it. Got to get this book. And so you're not only an author, but you're a marketing executive and co-owner of C&D, the agency. You're also the CEO and owner of the B Guide, as well as Courtney Racquel, the jewelry line. And you do an amazing job. And I think I'm probably going to throw folks off by saying this, but you do an amazing job of running the B Guide with your beautiful daughter, who actually looks like your sister.
Thank you.
And now so many others across the globe have came to know you as a reality TV star on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Beyond those things, please tell us more about you that we may not know.
Yeah. Well, Tamika, I think you have a very unfair advantage because I think you know me very well. You've known me my whole life. And so I think you hit on everything. Most importantly, I think that I'm a mom and a mentor for women. Like those are the things that drive me every single day. It's what I'm inspired by, and it's what gives me fulfillment, which is why I wrote the book and it's why I do what I do. And being on the show to me is just an extension of an opportunity that I have. Obviously, it's a very small snippet of my life and my story. So I think you nailed it for the most part, though.
I love having this unfair advantage.
Yes, you do.
And I will be honest, I know that I've been watching Real Housewives of Atlanta for 15 years, definitely for 15 years.
Nice.
And so it's so amazing to see you come into that stream. But I will tell you that I have been Team Courtney before, and it definitely hasn't changed now.
I appreciate that.
So welcome. But I'm happy that you said I hit on everything because some of the things that I definitely think that you can help my community with, that you can help people that look and talk and interact just the way that we do, is with particularly like professional and personal branding. And so, for the longest, I've always thought, that there are two different things, right? I always thought that a bit of professional branding comes with code switching or feeling like I have to be a little bit more not myself, I'll say, not as authentic. And I even had my mentee ask me a question saying, do you think the professional brand and your personal brand are the exact same things? And personally, I do have my answer, but I'm not the marketing guru. I'm not the brand master. I'm not the brandista. So I love to hear from you. Tell me, do you feel like a personal brand and a professional brand are the same? And if they're different, tell us how.
Yeah, no, sure. And you've read the book, so I think you probably know my professional opinion. But I think that we live in a world where you should never have to code switch, right? Your personal brand is really just you getting super clear on who you are, what you do, why you do it, what you have to bring to the table, and then finding the right outlets and platforms to express that and to share your expertise in the world, right? That's my personal brand. So, or anybody's personal brand, but your professional brand may have a business attached, right? So Courtney Racquel is my jewelry brand. It's my namesake brand, but it feels a little more, it's a little more strict, and there's less of my personality in it, honestly, because that brand is all about women's empowerment and going for your dreams. So although it's an extension of my personal brand, it has its own persona, and it's literally, we are women, we can do this together, we are stronger. And it really is about the collectors and less about me, if that makes sense, right? But it's a reflection of my personal brand and who I am and what I represent. Again, women's empowerment, because I just think for so long, we grew up and we were born in a country where there were such disparities between people of color and women. So I think this is our era to kind of close the gap. And I think the internet and marketing and having access to marketing tools allow us to close that gap. And I really believe a part of my purpose is to help women really understand how to do that. And I think just to talk about your personal brand a little bit more, your personal brand is just who you are, doubling down on it, right? Like I'm on this show and it's showing a part of me that I don't lead with every day, but it's certainly a part of me because I'm going to always stand up for myself. I'm going to speak my truth. And sometimes I'm going to get a little saucy. Do I live my life like that every day? Absolutely not. Most times I'm leading with kindness and inclusion and rah, 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 getting the girls together. But when I get in a situation, I'm going to be authentic to who Courtney is and who my parents taught me to be. And my mom would kill me if I ever let somebody drag me and me not, voice and stand up to them. So that's just an extension of my brand. And again, it's not the larger part of me, but clearly I think you can see from the show, it's a part of me.
Yeah. And I think that's so amazing. I'm so happy that you gave us that clarity, because when your jewelry line initially came out, of course, I was just like, oh my God, I love this. I'm a gold girl. I like it big and bold. And of course, I like a good statement piece. I mean, you can put on the most simple thing and your accessories will say, I'm here.
Which I love the Courtney Racquel that you're rocking today. It looks absolutely fabulous. You make it look amazing. So,
well, I learned from the best.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. The craziest thing about it is that when I went to your website, I was immediately like in awe, because as I'm strolling, I'm noticing that each piece is named like strategically after each generation, like a female in each generation of your family. Like it wasn't just one generation. It seemed like you covered everyone. Tell us more about that. Is this fitting into the women empowerment side of things?
Yeah, it does. Because I think if we think back to, again, just women in this country, like I just believe, or my experience has been, women have been like the foundation of everything great and amazing, right? Like rather, it was in the 50s when women kind of were in the background, but they kept the house together and they motivated the men and they prepared them to go out into the world to make a living. Or when the war took place and a lot of men got shipped off to fight in the war, and then the women started working in factories and going to work for the first time, and they were holding down the family. So that's back in my great grandmother's generation, and then my grandmother, and those stories of just pride and heritage and what those women did. And while they were doing that, they were looking stylish and being nurturing and being amazing. I think that I am an extension of all those generations. And so for me to launch a brand about women's empowerment and kind of where we've been and where we are, and if we stick together, we can kind of revolutionize where we're going as women. I felt it was only right to give ode to the generations before me that really inspired me in every aspect of my life. And so that's kind of the idea. And hopefully that inspires something in you as a collector, right? To think about the generations before you and to know that you carry all of that ancestry in your DNA, and that your ancestors, there's nothing you really can't do with the strength of what they've been able to overcome from slavery in America to today. So to me, it's just like a celebration, a reminder. And I'm certainly trying to create a community that supports women in whatever we dare to dream.
Yeah, no, I absolutely was amazed because, yeah, you talk about the generations before you, but you definitely paid homage to the generations that you've created and the ones that have been created by the lineage in your generation.
Absolutely, because they're watching, right? They're watching, and they're also inspiring me. I mean, Jayla inspires me every single day. And when we meet and she has these creative ideas and she just sees the world from a different lens than me, that's inspiring. So pulling all that information, all that insight, all that creativity, and just realizing like, damn, we're dope as women, and we have not seen like we haven't seen nothing compared to, I think, what we're about to see in the coming years. So I'm super excited just about where we are as women.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I mean, I personally am in a space where I never wanted to be. Like, I truly love the way that you carry this torch, because you're not just an entrepreneur, not just a business owner, but a business owner of several businesses. And here I am, like, I'll just stay in corporate. I don't want to own a business. I don't want to worry about revenue. I don't want to worry about the P&L. Like, let me just show up and get this check every 2 weeks. And I thought that's where I was. And I truly feel like it was the Lord that gave me this divine plan to say, no, help others, like create a space. Technology has created multiple spaces where you can help others. And I just love the fact that you are doing it in such a bold way. And, I laugh about it because you're like, my mother would make sure that I stand up for myself. Well, we know her so well. And thank you so much for just being very transparent with that, because knowing your mother, oh, she's a firecracker when she wants to be. She's probably going to get me after this, but she is a
firecracker, and she's proud to be, and she should be, because she grew up in a time that was very different from us. And it was her, it was that part of her spirit that has led her to have, to enjoy the life that she has. My mom was always top of her class. She was salutatorian in a school that she helped integrate, which is incredible. She has an MBA, but she has a voice, and no one's going to, my whole life, my mother's strength, as far as her mental strength, her faith, and the voice that she would have to protect not only her children, but, also her parents. Like, nobody really messed with my family because they know my mother played no games. And I'm proud of that part of my personality. And I think for so long, my mom thought that it bypassed me, because she's like, oh my God, you're so nice and you're so kind and you need me to call those people. And I think what the show has done, like, okay, well, maybe I passed along some of that. So I love that actually she gets to see the other side to me. And I'm actually proud of that part of me.
Yeah, and you should be. Why wouldn't you be? I think it's definitely helping the little girls that's coming up to understand that, like, I can totally be what I want to be, and I can stand up for what I want to stand up for. And the craziest thing about it is they're so intrigued by social media that, all of these TV shows are live streaming. So you have to kind of just acknowledge the fact that they're gonna find this, and you want something that's gonna help them be able to be trailblazers themselves, continue to carry the torch. I think it's just absolutely inspiring that anybody can feel that courage, like your mom. Like, my mother integrated a school.
Yes.
And when I hear her stories, I mean, it's almost like she can't really talk about the details because you can see the emotion is still there. So I imagine that was difficult for her. And so, like, that's a huge thing. So salutatorian after that, like, I'm just happy to get out.
Trauma, just all the things that they went through to have a voice. Like, how dare we not use ours, right? So I'm going to use mine until I can't use it anymore.
Well, you use it in a whole nother avenue because you are now, or have been for quite some time, the author of Make Your Mark. Definitely a great book that tells us how to do personal branding through on-purpose living. And I am so happy to share it here. So if you guys have never seen it, then this is the book that you can get. I'll have the link in the description box because this book is very monumental. And so I feel like that's definitely another way that you've been able to carry that torch. What made you decide specifically for this book?
So I'm glad you asked. So when I was in corporate, I used to run sales departments of media properties, right? So I was working for Clear Channel at the time in a management position, and I would do a lot of speaking engagements. And a lot of times people would want to continue the conversation, but I can't have personal conversations with everyone. I couldn't mentor everyone. So at one point I was speaking for the Public Relations Society of America for their collegiate chapters. And someone just gave me the idea, one of the coordinators, she's like, I wish you had a book and we could have you speak at several of our campuses. And I was like, oh my God, that would make an amazing, that makes an amazing idea. And I think the beautiful part about it was that, some of the schools were HBCUs, some were PWIs, but everyone was really intrigued about taking the real elements of themselves, their culture, their heritage, and really double downing on that and recognizing that the thing we don't have to do is code switch. Like, you have to operate with a certain level of professionalism when you're in somebody else's corporate job, because there's a corporate culture, obviously, that you have to match in order to do well. However, I think it's the diversity in voices and experiences that actually make those environments really authentic. So I wanted to encourage more of us to go into the workplace with our natural hair, which mine isn't today, but traditionally, I have embraced my natural hair after I permed my hair a couple times and realized that was not for me back in school. Just embracing things that are natural and authentic to you, because then it inspires other people to recognize beauty and smartness and just all these different things from a very vast set of eyes, right? Because if the world keeps seeing things through a narrow lens, like this whole professional corporate environment, that's not even real, honestly, for anybody. Like, no one lives their life like that every single day. I think by us bringing flavor and more of our personal style and vibrance to the workplace, that's how we change the culture. So I thought that was important.
No, I think it definitely is. And we've talked about the book. We've definitely talked about the jewelry that I can't get enough of.
Yes, girl, I can't wait for you to see the new collection. It's fire, fire, fire.
New collection? How dare you drop that kind of gem on me and act like it's nothing? When is it going to be released?
I can't. We're working, I'm actually working in partnership with a department store, so say prayers for me. And we keep having to make some changes to it, but I'm thinking towards the end of September, hopefully we'll have the campaign shoot and I can make an announcement and you'll get to see the new pieces. I'm hoping, so prayers up.
You are a busy bee. Like,
yes, I am.
You are busy.
Grateful. God, I am not complaining. I am super grateful. Praise the Lord.
God is good.
God is good all the time.
Yes, and it's so crazy because that's the immediate thing I go to when I'm like, no, but I thank you. I thank you, Lord. I appreciate it.
I talk to God all day, just in normal conversations. I know God like, Courtney, not right now. I'm like, God, okay, I know you're trying me, but we're gonna do this. But, just listen, that's the only way I can get through.
That's the only way. I don't know. I get it that some people are just non-believers, and then I'm not opposed to that in any way. But for me, I love me the Lord.
Listen, that's how I get through. I'm like, yes. If the Lord okay with it, you're gonna have to be okay with it.
You're gonna have to be okay with it.
I think the Lord is telling me to do this right now.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate it. But we know that like clothing and accessories really give us a statement piece. And I'm pretty sure that when you decided, okay, I want to create the Be God, I want to create Courtney Racquel, you were thinking about your target audience of those women you're trying to empower and you're trying to get into a different light and feel that comfort and definitely feel complete, I guess comfort for their personal brand, their professional brand. And so I am constantly gravitating to the B Guide. I'm constantly
Thank
gravitating
you.
to your jewelry line. Tell us your take on why your businesses were created. So you've told us about the jewelry line, but what made you create the B Guide?
So the B Guide, so when I work with corporate clients, when I left corporate and I took on clients, one of my clients, his name is Anthony Liggins, and he's an amazing artist whose work is actually behind me right now. And his work is everywhere. Super, super, super accomplished artist. He literally coined the phrase the Brandista, right? So he'd be like, "Hey, Brandista," whatever.
Wow.
And, I took that name on. And then I use it for my social media, like a fashionista, brandista. So the B Guide is the brandista guide. And to me, it's just a guide to help women just feel their best. Because I feel like a big part of showing up in the world is feeling good internally and externally. And I think when we feel good internally, it can project outside. So it's just a way where I share how I'm feeling, I share style, highs and lows, because, I want to speak to every woman who, is, my mom just texted me, am I drinking on the webinar? Like, did she miss that we're having a cocktail hour?
She missed it.
So can you hold your glass up so that she could see that she came on late questioning? Yes, Mom, you're drinking yours. I hope you have yours. Okay, back to what I was saying. So the B Guide is just like wherever you are, don't wait until you get the right job, the right man. So like nothing right now, start to feel good about yourself. So it's, I share my little spiritual insight, because whether you believe in God or not, y'all drinking on the internet, I'm gonna ignore her. Sorry, peoples. I stand my mother and I'm 48 years old. Yes, I do. But anyway, wherever you are, like when you feel good inside, I think it's projected outside. So the B Guide was just a way for me to share my insight, vulnerable moments, style tips, clothing, to just help women feel empowered and feel good about their lives and where they are.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I didn't even think about the B Guide, brandista. Like, I love it. It's such a flow. And don't you like when you get with people that have such creative thoughts that they give you amazing ones that last so long?
I hope so. And when I hear stories like yours, when you tell me that you never envision yourself out of corporate America and then you ventured out, like, that makes me feel so good, because it is why I do what I do, right? Because when I went to corporate, I was the opposite. I was like, I need to go in corporate and learn as much as I can and get out as fast as I can. And I stayed much longer than I wish I would have, because I was getting paid pretty well and living a pretty good lifestyle. So then I got nervous, like, I can't give all of this away. But that's why I do what I do, because whatever it is, it's great to work in corporate, but whatever makes you feel fulfilled. And I just encourage women to pivot as much as you need to find that fulfillment and happiness. And I think when you feel good about yourself and you look good, it's just an easier alignment to find that.
Oh yes, it's magic. It's definitely magic, and it is a different space. And I currently sit where you were, where I'm like, well, my paycheck's really nice and it's dependable, and I know I'm getting it every 2 weeks, and I like doing this. So yeah, entrepreneurs.
I love stability, and God, thank you, because I prayed for it. But then God's like, well, this is only the stepping stone, because I think that success probably gave you the confidence to step out to do other things. So it's like a journey, right? And as we do things and we build the confidence, we get the confident muscles, it prepares us for the next thing that God has for us. And so that's kind of how I like to look at it.
Yeah, no, I mean, now that you break it down that way, yeah, I should be looking at it that way too. Now you've opened my eyes yet again. So like, I think that, I think that what the whole audience is waiting here for. Now your mom, she waiting on us to stop drinking on the internet, but
this is a whole happy hour party. Mom, get with the program.
But I think what everyone else is excited to hear is like, okay, Now I know more about her. I know that she's more than a pretty face on big screen TV, but now I really want to hit into the stuff that we don't get to see on TV that we really want to dive into, know a little bit more about.
Okay.
And so I want to tie in this branding theme a bit with some of the things that we've seen that have become hot topics, that have become talking points across the internet, that became hashtags, for goodness sake.
Right.
But we know that like personal space is like an unseen barrier for so many folks. And I think because we're both from the South, like we naturally would look at like a hand tap when we're talking to someone as like a love tap, or that we talk with our hands. I mean, here I go right now. If I see someone's really getting in their emotions, I'm touching you in a sense of endearment to say, hey, no, we're okay. Like I still care for you. So how do you define your personal space?
Yeah, so I think it depends. Like, I think that in humanity, those of us who are pretty healthy, which everybody isn't, no disrespect, we like community, we like encouragement, we like the endearment of hand taps. I think for some people, they're just shut off, they're closed off, they're dealing with things, and it's fear. It's a level of fear, and that's okay. I think the key is setting your boundaries, but then being consistent. Like you can't be okay with hand touching one day when it works in your favor and then not other times, right? So I think whatever your boundaries are, wherever you are with it, rather you're an open person that like to commune with other women like I do. Again, my whole thing is women's empowerment, and like, you go girl. I think that you define those boundaries, but I think the key is to be consistent and not be one way one moment and then decide that, I may say something to offend you and then you're like, you know what I mean? So I think that's the key. It's like with anything else, right? Like you have to set the boundaries and then be consistent. And you have full right to whatever your personal space should be. I don't think reality TV is a place, probably though, with someone who has very strict boundaries on personal spaces. I think we all know that reality TV probably isn't the right space for them.
Yeah. So now give us some suggestions for the young professionals. Like, how do you not taint your personal or professional brand with certain mannerisms?
Yeah. Well, I think you should be authentic, right? I think the key is to try not to disrespect anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to understand your self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
Like there are things that I do. Like when I laugh, I holler. If something's funny, I am screaming, like rolling, right? Which might be offensive to some people. That's not me though. Like I'm not touching you, like, sorry, like that's just my expression of myself. I'm going to tone it down in certain situations because I'm aware of it, but I'm never going to change that about me. I speak with my hands. I'm a communication major and I was actually taught to speak with my hands, right? It's actually the proper way to express yourself. So I naturally did it. And then I went to undergrad school, and then I went and got a master's degree and was taught that's what you do as a communicator. I'm never gonna stop talking with my hands, right? When I'm upset, I'm gonna move my head, bobblehead, say what you want. It's me. And being authentic is the key, because when you start letting society or other people tell you how to behave, that's when you get confused and you lose sight of your authenticity. You don't trust your intuition. You don't trust your instincts. Like I trust my intuition like no other, because I don't adjust to what other people tell me. I'm going to respect their space, and I'm going to tone down certain things in certain spaces and environments because I understand etiquette more so than anything. So it's almost like learn etiquette, play by the etiquette rules, but be true to yourself. Because if you're not true to you, you're not going to be true to anybody else, period.
See, I think this is where I'm so happy we're able to connect, because these are the things that get edited out. These are the things that you can't say on reality TV.
Right.
This is what makes anyone, obviously we know that there was the big tap, or the tap, let's put it in quotation marks.
After her butt hit me like 3 times, which you did not see her getting up, in which me and her were going back and forth, laughing and kikiing until I offended her in something I said, then the energy changed, right? And so, right, you see what you see, and that's so I'm cool with it. Once she told me, I'm like, okay, cool, I got you.
Exactly. And see, there we go. Editing hits in. We don't see this, right? We don't hear about this. We just see her getting upset because you tapped her. And then it looks, this other
Not
thing
her
is,
butt, like I said, hitting me 3 times, getting up to get her phone, and right, because we're sitting right next to each other, and her laughing and kikiing in the beginning of the dinner.
wow, wow. It's so sad
It's
because
all good, like it's fine.
yeah, it's all good. You did the appropriate thing. You apologized. We
I
can't
did.
make people accept our apologies. So you did the best that you can do.
Yeah, I did, and I didn't think about it twice after that.
Well, you know, and there's still more of the show to go. So we're yet to see how this comes out to the end, right? We have yet to see that part. The great thing about it is that you've had tons of relationships formed on the show. So like you've realized that you and Ralph are cousins and like there became this relationship. And then there's this tiff between you and his wife. And like all of a sudden now it turns into something different.
Mhm.
How has your relationship been since you guys have stopped filming? Like how's your relationship been with Ralph?
It's really good. We talk like every other day, just about. He's like one of my other guy cousins. We see
Yeah.
each other. Super supportive of each other. Like Ralph's a fun person, so we just naturally kind of click. He acts like a lot of the other guys in my family, which makes him very relatable and comfortable for me. So I'm super blessed to have discovered that relationship.
That's so good. I'm happy to hear that because, again, that's the stuff we don't see the full details of. And like,
Yeah.
When the camera stopped, what do we know? So that's good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There's a true relationship that's formed like natural cousins would do, right?
Yeah.
So like, do you feel that there's been an impact on your brand, since being on the show? If so, like how has that impacted your brand?
So I think it has. I mean, my platform has grown a little bit. My business, I've sold more. So I had like the first or the second week on the show, like I sold like more books than I had in like months. So, just naturally, like, of course, sales get to go up, which is a positive. And then, as far as like, I don't really like read the blogs and stuff unless like somebody sends something to me. But I already knew, like, so I came onto the show and got into it with the biggest name on the show and then got into it with another large name on the show. So of course, being on the show for years, just, that they have built fans over the years. So
yeah.
I don't think twice about that, honestly. Like for me, it's about staying consistent to my goals, what I do, the impact that I make in my family, with my daughter, in my businesses, with the women that I mentor. And I've just been able to, like I said, extend my brand a little more. So that's the biggest impact for me. It's the thing that I think I appreciate the most.
That's so good. Do you feel like ever since your whole interaction with Candy, like, do you feel like that relationship has gotten a little bit better now?
It's gotten a lot better. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's gotten a lot better. I could say Candy and I are actually really cool at this point.
Good. I'm happy to hear that because she's always been my favorite.
Yeah. I mean,
Or one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, she's a cool person. She's consistent. I think she's definitely fair. And so you will see our relationship develop for sure.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Because we don't have much time left. Before we know, there's going to be time for
we're wrapping it up.
So it's kind of scary. It's like, okay, now we really got to tune in because I want to see that get better. I'm like, oh no, I died laughing because when you got into this interaction, right? And you started with the head bobbing, like you said before. I was like, that is so naturally her, and the internet is hating it.
She and I actually talked about it the other day, and I was like, girl, because when you start making those faces, and she's like, well, you were head bopping from the beginning. I was like, well, the head bop and the faces, we just both went sideways. We started laughing. But again, it's one of those things where I had nothing against Candy. I addressed something that came back to me, which she did make a call to inquire about me, said some things. She said what came back to me was never said because I was told. She said that I was saying that she and I were friends in order to get on the platform, which was never the case, right? So the show reached out to me. And that's how it happened. And even Sheree didn't know in the beginning that it was something I was considering. So I didn't use anybody. It was, literally a DM to me, a conversation started to happen. And Sheree was the first person that I told, because she and I genuinely had a relationship already. So I just wanted to clarify, like, that is not the case. But she said that she actually did not say that. And that night I was drinking and asked her conversation, and she made these faces, and I started my head and it went sideways. But I think as adult women can do, we were able to talk about it, understand that there was miscommunication, and we squashed it and we moved on.
And you guys, I mean, you can see in your careers, both of you individually, like you are true trailblazers for African-American females. And so I wouldn't expect anything less, that you guys would figure that out and continue to decide like how you want to grow. And so now that we've gone into this, right, and we know that there's more to come, you guys have kind of had a break. I'm sure you guys just probably did the reunion. You did, because the amazing dress that we saw online. So we just got that going, and that's all behind us. Let's say the opportunity is presented to you a little bit further than a DM, more of a graduated contract for you to be a peach holder. How would you feel about that? Would you be open to it?
Story. Like, I'm still processing everything. I'm still figuring out what direction I want this jewelry line to go in, how much work that's going to require. So right now I'm just in the moment. I think it was a great experience. And let me just be super clear. When I agreed in the position of a friend. That's what I wanted to do.
Got it.
The opportunity to become a peach holder came into the conversation, and I knew the parameters, and it wasn't something that made sense for me. So I wanted to be a friend. I signed up as a friend. And I think that was the best role for me, given where I was in my life when we started filming.
But you got to let the people know, because everybody.
Just so they know, because it's so annoying when someone says, and like, you're never going to get a peach. If I actually wanted a peach, guys, I hate to disappoint you, but I knew exactly what I needed to, like, I think it's amazing, but that doesn't define my life. Like, guys, this is a small snippet of my life. Like, my life is pretty full. And it's just a great opportunity to be on a platform, get to know some women, build some friendships, and maneuver a new space, which I'm always open to. And it was amazing and fun, and it did what it was supposed to do.
And then what other way would you go out here and help empower women except coming on their TVs every Sunday? Like, you've just taken this empowerment to multiple levels. And so why wouldn't you take that opportunity? But your original ventures have been all of the businesses that you created. So yeah, would we throw that to the side for one opportunity?
I do a pretty nice lifestyle for myself, right? Like, I don't want to pretend like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay, right? And I was okay before. And I have dreams for myself and goals for myself that are above and beyond a platform, quite honestly. So I'm just, like I said, building this brand right now, and super grateful to God for these opportunities that are coming, taking it one day at a time, and just kind of figuring out where do we go from here.
Where do we go? Yeah. If you can give us some insights on what we can expect on the remaining seasons and even the reunion.
Let me think of where we are. What did you guys see last? Drew's wellness event, probably.
That's the last thing we've seen.
Okay, so there's an amazing sip and see at Sheree's house, because her beautiful grandbaby Mecca. We did a sip and see, so you're gonna see that, and that was a fun, festive event. Sheree has an absolutely beautiful family, so you'll see the dynamics of that, and the women coming to support her for that. And then the week after that, maybe the finale, where Candy and Todd do a release for the movie that was shot during the season. So we get to watch a snippet of that, and you might see me get a little saucy with somebody there. Let me see, what else?
Team talls or team smalls? You have to give us insight on who you're getting snappy with.
Okay. My cousin-in-law.
Oh, well, we almost could have predicted that one. Isn't that kind of
And I
sad?
should say something. So if anybody's wondering, I never called her a bitch. So when we were in Portugal, her and Candy got into a debate, or rather she kissed a girl or not. Who cares? Whatever. She swore she's never kissed a girl that day, but obviously since we've all seen clips where she's admitted to kissing a girl. Who cares if she's kissed a girl? But she was imitating Latoya, and she was like, and this bitch, da, 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 da. And so what you see me on the clip doing is I'm talking to Sonia, and we're trying to figure out who was telling the truth, Candy or Drew, because like I said, they had a pretty heated debate, and I was imitating Drew talking about Latoya. So I'm talking to Sonia, and I'm like, and she was like, and this bitch, da, da, da. But I think Manetta was super clear. I wasn't calling Drew a bitch. I don't know if she was clear or not, but I'm not sure if that was made super clear, but I never called her one. I think she may want to hold on to that narrative because things are going sideways with me and her. And so you might see us have a conversation, a colorful conversation about that.
Oh, a colorful conversation. We can't wait to see.
Girl, we have these colorful conversations, so all right,
Yeah, well, thank God. Done. Reunion is done. You get a pause on filming.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really get a chance to breathe because now you're working on a launch. Like, so what do you do? Like, at least you go back to your own.
And it's okay, because I think you probably feel this way. When you're working on stuff that you love and you're passionate about, and it's like a lifelong dream, you just get this creative energy from nowhere, right? My mind is constantly turning, I'm tweaking things, and that's the energy that kind of puts fuel, I think, on my personal fire. So it keeps me going for sure, because I just have this big vision of what this brand's going to do and the type of empowerment and the jobs and the opportunity that's going to bring to women. And that just gets me super excited.
No, you're right. And it's a different type of excitement. So as much as I thought I wouldn't be in this space, when I get the work, I see results, I see transformations, like that energizes me.
Yes, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It gets you creative too. Now you think about new opportunities. You're like, you know what? I didn't think about this type of situation for them. I think it could help close the gap a bit. And so it does take you in a different direction. I feel so happy that we're on here, but I feel so weird not talking to my community because normally we kind of get to chat so I'm gonna breeze through, say a few hellos. I'm so happy you guys are hanging on this long. But I want to see if any of you have questions for Courtney, because I hope I asked ones that you guys want to know, because I know I asked the time that I wanted to know. But I want to take a minute just to look through the chat and see where, you guys may have some questions, because y'all are part of this conversation too. And so I'm so thankful to have JT on, Mr. or MR. Oh, hey, MR, they're telling you hi, Courtney. They're telling me.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
And hashtagging team Courtney, hashtagging team Tamika. I love it. They're definitely giving nothing but compliments. Your classmate is in here throwing some coins, Foxy Brown. And so many people are saying they need to look into this book. So that's amazing. It's so nice to see some folks that we both know from home.
That's Hey, homies.
Hey, homies. I just love the support. And I know you do too. I mean, it's so wild when I constantly see Team Courtney. I'm like, yes, hashtag Team Courtney. So nice to have so many people in here that came here for that. And thank you all for the compliments. They all know that my background is my new studio recording center.
It is amazing. I am loving the lighting. I'm loving the color. I'm so proud of you. I think I've said that already, but if I haven't, I can't say it enough. I'm so proud of you. It's unlimited what you can do, the way you're helping people to really figure out their careers, their brands. I just kudos. We need more people like you. And I just am super, super proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so walking in new grounds, and I'm actually happy to be here. I'm totally letting the Lord lead me in whatever direction He'd like, as long as I can get that result of continuing to see more females not only be empowered, but to reach barriers they haven't seen before, to break generational curse, to step in a space and like own it when you literally feel like you're the only one there. And I think this is why I thought it'd be such a matchmaker to have you here to talk about like this branding and being a statement piece and like really carrying the torch for your own life versus
Right.
letting corporate or any other environment do that. And so many people are excited that we're talking about just being authentic and being true to yourself. And so I feel like we've gotten a message across here.
I really hope so. And just to your audience, I just encourage them and I challenge them, like whatever God put on your heart to do, God trusted that with you to do it. And it's just putting yourself around the right people and the right inspiration and motivation to fuel that within you. So watching Tamika's YouTube and just building the confidence, because God gave it to you for a reason. And you're gonna, if you don't do it, you're gonna end up regretting it. So, and it's okay to fail. That's the other thing that I've learned, right? Like I can try something and it might fail or it might not take off the way that I wanted to, but everything in divine time. And if you just keep going, believing in yourself and trusting the process. So I just challenge you all to just, have big dreams for yourself and work towards them. I am a big believer in God because I just feel like God is my guide every day. But whatever your beliefs are, when you trust something bigger than yourself, it just takes a lot of the pressure off of you. And so I just encourage you to try God. I mean, why not?
Why not? Why not? What do you have to lose? See, well, we actually do have.
You just end up where you started from, right? Like,
That's
okay.
the worst case scenario. Come on. Worst case.
Oh no, I'm like, God, how are we gonna do this? Because I can figure this out on my own.
Yes. So true. So true. We actually did get a couple questions. And one of the questions was, would you like Nene on? And if you think she'd be that you two would get along?
Yeah, I think Nene is amazing. I think she's amazing, right? Like I feel like she's born to do this. The few interactions that we've had, we get along pretty well. I don't think I get along with most people who don't have an ulterior motive or just, I think for Kenya, she just decided she wasn't gonna like me from the jump. And she stuck with that. And I tried a little bit in the beginning, but then I was like, all right, by the time we got to Drew's dinner, I was like, I'm done trying. So here we are. So yeah, she's amazing. I think she would be amazing. And I think we would, we would obviously have fun shade with each other. You have to, that's the whole, that's what keeps people watching, but I think we would.
Yeah, I think so too.
I actually was at her second wedding, when her and Greg got remarried. Yeah.
Oh, so y'all have history. This isn't anything new.
We're not friends. We see each other. We speak. We hug. She's super dope, but I don't claim friends. Like I don't. You know what I mean? Like,
let's make it clear.
I got invited to the wedding. I went. It was an amazing event, and she seems every time, like I said, to see her, she's been cool.
Well, we have yet another question. And the next question was, I would love to know that as you build your brand, how do you know what opportunities you should say yes to? For example, like speaking engagements, podcast guests, things like that.
So typically I think about what aligns with my brand and what my audience would care about. Like, when you're branding something, your audience is your key because everything you do really is about inspiring or motivating or connecting with your audience. So I think about it. I'm like, okay, is this something that, like Tamika, you've been one of my biggest cheerleaders, fans, cousins from day one. And I am the same with you. So I think we're in each other's audience, right? So if it's something I'd be like, okay, would Tamika be interested in this? Would she watch? Could she connect with this, make her feel good? Could she learn something from it? And then that kind of helps me decide if it's aligned or not with what I'm trying to do. And
yeah. So you think about your target audience as you make that decision, and you definitely think about, of course, it aligning just with you and what you're willing to accept, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next question was, do you purchase your jewelry online only? Is there like a store location or anything? Definitely give us what's coming in the future as well.
So right now it's online only. And God willing, it'll be in a department store before too long. And then other outlets after that. So that's what we're working on. But right now it's on CourtneyRacquel.com. So you can get it there.
Yeah, and let me let y'all know, you get it so quick, you don't even realize you missed the store. Because I swear my box always get here nice and quick. It's always intact. I like unraveling everything that comes into it. It's so nice and packaged so well. So I am definitely letting you know that online you ain't missing too much. You just the only thing you're missing is wasting the gas money and the inconvenience.
And causing me some extra coins, but it's okay.
Listen, we here for it. And so I am so sorry, guys. My plan was totally to put the links in the description box before we started, but I can guarantee you, as soon as it's completely uploaded and done, I'll have every link that you need for Courtney, including the jewelry line, because everyone's like, well, where's the link? Where do we get it? So I'll definitely put the links in there, not only for Courtney Racquel's jewelry line, but also for her amazing book that can totally help you guys kind of navigate that space and branding. Definitely for the B guy, because let me tell you, child, sis be rocking his clothes, looks nowhere like she is 48 years old. I'm like, no. Can't be not the way she looks in this amazing dress, these jeans, like she gives it such a vibe. And definitely.
Let me add this. My grandma used to say, and I didn't understand it back then because I'm like, Mama, what are you talking about? But she would buy something. We like, oh, Mama, you look young. And she's like, well, when I went into the store, I bought it based on the size, not the age. So now that's what I'll be telling people. Like, okay, well, I'll be getting my clothes based on the size, not the age. So now it just
yes. Oh, I'm gonna have to steal that one. I like that. Oh my goodness, I love it.
High heels. She's like, girl, I bought it based on my size, not my age. Meanwhile, she like 80 something with high heels on, but hey.
Oh, your entire family is like, y'all goals. Let me just get it right. Y'all are goals.
Definitely goals.
She was amazing. Yes. And I mean, hey, now we have you. So you've definitely shown that like that you carrying the torch really well. I know she'd be so proud of you. Like I know that everyone, you can see the love in the chat. Everyone's super duper proud of you.
Thank y'all.
It looks like we have one more question that just slipped in. And then we're going to get on off and give y'all your evenings back. Give us a chance to finish our drinks. Your mom's okay with it.
Mom, I hope you caught up. Get with the program, Lavoya.
How do you keep family and close friends in a respectful place considering your growth? Example, being approached with repeated sad stories, last minute emergencies, or attempt to play on your kindness.
You know, I think that just comes with family. I have a very close relationship with my family, and I always kind of have. And I just think that you set the boundaries by how you show up with them, right? And so I will say you can't control all the emergencies. They happen. They continue to happen to me right now. And I just decide which emergencies I want to help out with and which ones I can't, because you definitely can't help out with all. And I will just say that you only have to give to other people what you first nurture and restore in yourself. And if you're constantly giving out and there are all these emergencies, then when do you have the energy or the resources to build your own dreams? So there are times when I have to say no. And I used to really struggle with that, but now I'm feeling a lot more empowered in saying that, because I'm just in a place where I can't afford to. Like I'm building a pretty big brand that requires a lot of my resources. So I have to be super careful, but I just think that you have to set the boundaries and people will respect that for the most part.
I'm so happy First, I'm happy for Greg asking that question. He's been an amazing client of mine. And now we're testing out a small group for more excelled HR professionals. And he's amazing at being in that pilot group. And I actually didn't realize how much that was a good question for me until I started hearing your answers, because I do struggle. I've done the thing that I thought was right of staying home, because for so long I was a single mom raising my daughter. So being home, their family was so helpful. But 2020, I say it all the time, 2020 was a reset for me. I started counseling in 27, took it serious in 2020, committed to my appointments, committed to that homework, and really started developing those boundaries. I'm still working on it. We're work in progress.
It's a lifelong journey. So yes, you should continue to work on it, as we all will.
As we all will. And so I really appreciate you for those answers, because the guilt hits in sometimes. Like sometimes you're like, okay, I can do it, but I only have this time. When in actuality, like it does take a lot. I don't think people who aren't in our space doesn't realize how much it takes for us to like show up. Like
How it might hurt your feelings. Like if I only hear from somebody when they want something from me, it actually really hurt my feelings, right? Like if it's like, hey, hate to bother you, then I just like, I don't even want to read the rest of it. And then if you look back in the text, it's like the only time you hear from them, that hurt my feelings. Like, yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for
yeah,
asking,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. So true, so true. See, I thank you, Greg. I appreciate you. I needed that. Y'all both blessed my soul with that one. And Lakita Foxworth, she said, "That's right, Courtney. That's how I shop. I shop by the size and not my age." She loves it.
Our new motto, girl.
And so we really, if you guys don't have any more questions, but y'all know we pushing on time. Y'all know I try to stay on this thing for no more than an hour. And so I feel like we've taken a lot of Courtney's time. She has brands to build, child. She's trying to get her jewelry line in the store. We really cannot keep taking too much time for her.
Girl, you ain't got me drinking. Ain't no focusing on no jewelry line tonight. So listen, we just gonna wrap up this conversation and we just gonna call it a play night.
We're gonna call it a play night. It's Thursday, it's pre-Friday, pre-weekend. You should totally call it the play night.
Play Thursday night, because I'm not doing nothing serious after this.
Good. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. I mean, you've done so much seriousness. Like, listen, you blessed my soul. You've blessed the amazing people who are in this platform, and enjoying this time with us today. Like, you've had some amazing questions, so you deserve a break. I know you've had a busy day. I thank you so much for squeezing us into your schedule. Who knows, guys? If we behave well, we continue to not reach out to Courtney just when we need her, but we reach out to her on a regular, cheer her on. She may come in person next time so that we can sit and have this conversation in person. That would be amazing. So I know. Crazy thing about it is I want to make sure that the folks know we've been talking about getting together for something way before you got on the show. Like, I mean, I feel like it's, what was it, like 2-3 years ago when I first started the channel, before I even got like a website and before I even like got branding together and a name and things like that. And I appreciate you so much for that. That's a big example of how amazing you are, how much you help others. And so I haven't been live for quite some time. I've had a lot of personal challenges. So guys, it just worked out perfect timing that she's able to come on and talk with us. So please don't think for a second that I would not have thought that she's amazing if she wasn't on the show. She's been amazing on my site for forever. Well, please tell the folks, how can they find you? What social media channels can they find you on?
Yeah. So on social media, I am on Instagram at the Brandista, Twitter at the Brandista. On LinkedIn and Facebook, it's my name, Courtney Rhodes. And I do have a Brandista page on Facebook, but it's not very active. So at the Brandista, and then my name, Courtney Rhodes, for social.
And if you guys want to check out more of her jewelry line, you can check out Courtney Racquel. That's on IG as well. She has it all linked in the Brandista. So if you find the Brandista, you're gonna find everything. Yes. So I thank you so much, guys. We appreciate y'all being here. Can't wait to see you guys on the next time.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was amazing. Again, I'm so proud of you and everything you're doing. So kudos.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now we're going to have to work out this next time.